Hey, this is John Carlos, and I am here with a look at the Rick and Morty collectible figure set by Mondo. These figures are made of ABS and PVC, and this is the exclusive deluxe version that comes with some extra goodies. Here's a look inside. There's the look at the inner flap there, and the figures inside. Right out of the box, I really like these figures. They're kind of a mix between statues and figures. They have extremely limited points of articulation, the most important of which has got to be the feet. Morty has a tendency to want to maybe fall forward just based on how far his head is leaning over his body, so if you don't get his feet in just the right spot, he wants to fall over. Same thing with Rick. You have points of articulation on his just swivels at the feet. You have swivels at the wrist, and then you have like a ball jointed head. And that's all you're working with, folks. Ball jointed head and arm swivels. Thankfully, these come with figure stands. I'm calling them figure stands, and the packaging says these are figures, but they are essentially statues. And I knew that getting into it. And you'd kind of have to if you were going to buy these. They're sold out now, by the way. But if you're going to buy them, you'd be disappointed if you actually thought you were getting figures, because, again, no real articulation to speak of. But the detail on these is surprisingly good for such, simply designed animated characters. Like the fade out of Rick's hair from like a darker blue at the base to like the lighter tips. It's really a fun choice, but really solid coloring. Even just like the sculpt of like his shirt tucking into his pants there. Just the cleanliness of like the brown to the white to the gray, but just like the way that the coat flows, and that they had that little kind of light green on the inside. It's pretty accurate to how he looks on the show. But look at the details in the mouth. It's a really good sculpt of his mouth and teeth, and a little bit of red right inside there. And the fact that both he and Morty have those like little star eyes. When they're on the show, they don't use dots. They use these little like scribbles that almost read like stars. And they definitely have that, and those are sculpted in. They go inward, so that's neat. I love this sculpt on his unibrow. Morty, also, all things considered, has some nice details. Like you can see there's shading on his shirt. When you get to the armpit area, it gets a little bit darker. You can see that going along the back side of his armpit too. I love this set of arms because Morty does often stand like this when he's nervous, so that's appropriate. I dig that. I also dig, for both of them, the three-dimensional orbs for the eyeballs really work well in figure form. Eyebrow paint looks good. Again, the fading of the hair, where we get darker hair towards the base, and then it kind of lightens up as you go over the course of the head there. But all along his bottom line there, you get a little darker edge. Nice little sculpt for the inside of the mouth there. This set comes with an assload of accessories, so let's just dive right on in here with this alternate Morty head, which I think is great. It's a really solid sculpt. I love the inset of the mouth, the sculpt on the tongue, the top teeth, the lower eyelids, the eyebrows. This is more detailed, I think, than the regular head. And then we got this disgruntled Rick head. I love the edges of his mouth are sculpted, and it's not just a line going across like a rounded face. Also, the little vomity drool hanging off his lip is sculpted and well painted. I love the eyelids on this one, especially just how kind of wrecked he looks here with that eyelid up, but that one not. Eyebrow, the unibrow, and again the paint fading all looks good. I love that they include the bald spot on here. We also get an alternate set of Rick hands and an alternate set of Morty arms. We will put these on the figures in a moment, but next I want to show you a bottle of booze. Pretty simple enough. I do like the little painted dots there, the little drips, and the portal gun, which is a very important accessory. Like duh, of course they'd have to include this. And the little green paint used right there looks pretty good. A little reflection line there on the side, that's nice. And we get the Morty's Mind Blower helmet, which is pretty well designed in toy form. I love all the different uses of colors going along the sides there. The little shine line. It is kind of, it's not soft, but it's definitely not solid. There's a little bit of give to it, which lets you plop it over Morty's head. We also get the 4 different color tubes for, you know, Rick's mistakes, you know, Morty's mistakes, memories, the family's mistakes, memories, and then the yellow. And it just plugs in easily. Like, it's pretty functional. There's no trick to it. There's no like magnets in there. It's just a good old-fashioned plug that fits into a hole appropriately. So yay, good job there. I'm pretty happy with how this turned out, that it's not wonky and falls out and doesn't work properly. Like, yeah. Now, this being the deluxe set, it comes with additional accessories. We have an extra Morty head of Evil Morty, and I love the little gray shine on the eye patch. Simple mouth design on that one. Rick here, Burping Rick, gets a more complicated sculpt on the mouth. I think the teeth, the drool, again, the tongue that's inset within the mouth, really, really great. I love his eyes in this one. This is probably my favorite head. So yeah. We also get Pickle Rick. The little Pickle Rick comes with his own little figure stand that he is attached to. He can't come off it. But some very nice details within this tiny Pickle Rick. The expression on his face is awesome. They could have given us just like the regular one, but the fact that he's in the full like suit, his little exosuit with the little rat limb down there, is a nice touch. Some really good details on the paint and sculpt within this. Just the surface of the pickle, the shading. Well, not the shading, but just the fact they went with that lighter tone going down the middle. But yeah, look at his little tongue and his little teeth in there. The drills, the little fist looked good. And he comes with his rat nemesis to fight, so that's fun. It's a fun sculpt. Good details like on the ribs. I mean, I'm kind of saying the same thing over and over again. The sculpt is good. The paint is good. Derp derp. But yeah, I mean, the sculpt is good. Paint is good. Look at these claws. Look at those eyes. I love seeing so much Rick and Morty stuff that's usually done on TV in 2 dimensions, in 3 dimensions, and it all really works. This is the best of the bonus items. Come on. We got the plumbus. It's like the best accessory ever. And as far as, you know, plumbuses go, I think they did a great job rendering the plumbus in 3 dimensions for me to hold and enjoy. I love these painted lines of reflections on here. It's just a nice little cartoony bonus touch. So here's the Rick figure holding the portal gun. Now here he is holding a bottle of booze. I've switched out his left hand and I've put on the burping head. The burping head is a little bit tighter. It's harder to articulate than the regular head. And here we have Rick with his sad head and both middle fingers on. They do articulate and rotate, but you know, you only really need them to be, you know, going one way. Like, this doesn't, you know, do you any good at all. Now there's these little notches here on the sides. Those notches kind of fit right along where Morty's ears would go. And the helmet looks pretty good on his head. And yeah, I dig that look considerably. Let's go in for a closer look there. Yep, Morty's mind is being blown. I've switched out Morty's right arm, but kept the left because you can kind of pose them in like a almost sort of, you know, evil, conniving hands pose. If you want to see how easy it is to switch out the heads, yeah, look at that. Pretty easy. Same thing goes for the arms. They just plop right out and go right in. And I gotta say, he looks pretty good with those arms. He can hold the portal gun pretty easily. He can sort of hold the plumbus. The problem is the width of this lines up right into his arm, so it's hard for him to get a grip with the angle that his hand is going. But you can just sort of angle it a little bit, and there you have some good, some hot plumbus action right there. Now, if you really want to see me swap out the heads on Rick, I'll just do that now. It's just a basic ball plug, and yeah, the hands swap out really damn easily. Before we wrap this up, I have to give you guys a quick look at Pickle Rick and the rat squaring off against each other. One thing that surprised me is that the plumbus actually fits better in Morty's hand than it does in Rick's. Because Rick's hand, even though it looks like it's sculpted to grip things better, in order to get the plumbus to really fit in his hand there, you gotta smush his 4 fingers, and his pinky finger gets really kind of squished, and I don't like that, like over long term. So that's a minor nitpick, but nothing to really fret over. I think these figures look flippin' awesome. I think they look amazing on the tabletop. This regular set is available at Shop Mondo for $100, and the deluxe version of the set is currently sold out, but was $120. And I think 20 bucks for the 2 additional heads and the plumbus and Pickle Rick and the rat were totally worth it. Even at $100 for without the deluxe stuff, I think this set is great. I think it looks awesome on the tabletop. They're essentially statues, and I think as statues, they do look really, really good on display, more so than your average, like, you know, $20 4-inch action figure. It really classes up the joint when you see these two, especially with the quality of sculpt and the really, really clean paint that Mondo applied. Mondo has been really diving into some really cool collectibles with their 6-scale Batman animated series figures. I love their Iron Giant figure, and I freaking love their Rick and Morty figures. As a fan, I am not let down by this. Also, just the design of the box is really cool. Like, there's cool artwork there. These are really great. I freaking love them. So thanks for watching, everybody. And if you want, you can follow me on social media, or don't, whatever. I don't really care.